Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury. Please silence your phones if you have not already done so. Yes, this means you. My name is Gail Alexander. I am a member of the board. I have been affiliated with this congregation since 1968. I was not a member then, as you can imagine. I was a member of the youth group. My family has a long tradition in Universalism. I am a seventh generation Universalist. My wife Jackie and I live in New Milford. We have raised both our children in the faith. I am going to solve this morning, equivocally and for the last time, the mystery of the Connecticut Inn sign. Because many people have walked up and I've watched those puzzled faces that they go, what is this doing here? We used to meet at the Connecticut Inn back in 1968. For a couple of years we were there. Mr. Bailey was our minister at the time. And this inn was located just off Route 7 as you head towards Ridgefield, down on the left off Stars Plain Road. So now you know the mystery. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury has been gathering for over 200 years. And as we work to build a more just world, we respectfully acknowledge that our physical building is on the traditional land of the Paugussett people. I'm so glad that you're able to join us this morning because you are an essential part of our celebration today. Whether today is your first or 1000th Sunday in our midst, in person or online, we are stronger because you are with us. If you're new to our community and joining us online, we invite you to introduce yourself and where you are connecting from in the chat box as you are comfortable. At the conclusion of today's services, you will have the chance to participate in a breakout group for individual connections and deeper check-ins. If you are new here and in person, please fill out a visitor card at the table near the exit before you leave today and consider staying for a few minutes after the service for coffee and conversation. We are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome here. Again, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury.
Good morning. Good morning. I had to think for a minute. Am I in a Unitarian Universalist congregation? Wow. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, choir. That was wonderful. That was inspiring. More. There were announcements that were scrolling as you came in that I hope you took a look at. You'll also see if you have an order of service, and I know we ran out, so I'm hoping you will share, or if there's more than one in your household and you both have one, could you pass it to someone that doesn't have one? Anyone not have one that needs one? Does anybody have one they can share? Thank you, Yvonne. And over here, we have some guests that need an order of service. Do we have anybody else that can share the word? Thank you. And one more in the back. We're going to make sure everybody's got what they need this morning. Good. So you'll want to take a look also at the announcements that are there in your order of service. And I do hope, I'm just going to take a moment just to remind those of you here who probably already know, I hope you know, that we are going to celebrate the life of our dear Joanne Wells on Tuesday. So it will be here at 2:00 in the afternoon. And so I encourage you to be here because we are going to celebrate. And it will be wonderful to gather and to remember the wonderful life that Joanne led. Let's take a moment and before moving, kind of look to your left, but if you're on the end, don't look that far. Do you see anyone you haven't seen before or you haven't seen in a long time? Look to your right. Look behind you. Look in front of you. I bet that there is at least one face here that you have not seen before today. And we are a pretty big group, so I'm not going to ask you to go across the room to see that person, but I'm going to ask you to remember that so that when our service is over and we have coffee together, rather than we stay in our little circles of everyone we know and we're so thrilled to see, we're going to open those up and we're going to reach out to those that we haven't met and those that we want to welcome here this morning. But we start by turning around and just giving a big wave of hello to all of those online. We are so glad that you are with us today. While you're not here with us in person, you are here with us in spirit, and we are so glad that you chose to spend your morning with us. Take just a moment, staying in your seats, those around you, just say hello, just thank each other for being here on this day. And we will continue greeting one another after the service during our coffee hour. But right now, I'd like to invite you to rise in body or spirit as you are able, as we lift our voices in song with one of the more traditional songs that is often sung at this time of year and has been chosen for today, Give Thanks. It's number 69 in that hard-covered hymnal, but we also have it here on the screen. Let us sing together, Give Thanks. Invite our service coordinator, Sally Mandler, to come and light our chalice and lead us in our affirmation.
Good morning. Please join with me. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and justice is its light. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek and speak the truth in love, to help one another and celebrate life.
Let's say our children's affirmation. The words will be on the screen or are in your order of service. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are people with open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We care for the earth and each other. So today, I don't have much of a story. what I do have is an introduction to an activity, a really special activity in this congregation. If you are a young person in this room with a collection of paper mittens, please hold them up high so that people can see them. Hold them up high. So during today's service, these people that are holding up mittens have been decorating them, and at the end of the service, they will leave before the postlude and put them on the tree that is in the foyer. That's right. It is time. You can put your hands down now. It is time for a yearly tradition here known as the mitten tree. Each of these mittens contains a gift request from an adult or child who is part of the Interfaith AIDS Ministry of Greater Danbury. The ministry serves families impacted by HIV/AIDS. The ministry extends to all corners of Greater Danbury, including the following towns. And if you're in one of these towns, give a little cheer for your community and all the ways people in your community help one another when I say your town name. The towns are Bethel. Yes, represent Bethel, come on. Brookfield. All right. Danbury. Okay. New Fairfield. Newtown. All right. Way to represent Newtown. New Milford. Okay. Reading. Yes. And Sherman. Anybody from Sherman? After the service, the religious education community invites you to collect a mitten if you are in a position to do so, or even more than one mitten from the mitten tree, and include the families of the Interfaith AIDS Ministry in your holiday shopping this year, just as you would do for any member of your family. If you need to go in with another person to get one of these gifts, it would be great to get some really nice necessities knocked off the list with 2 or 3 people going in together. You might want to do that for a request like a set of frying pans or an adult's coat. You'll receive an instruction sheet when you go to get your mitten, but I know that some of you are wondering, so let me say now, please bring these gifts back on Sunday, December 4th. I'll tell you in 1 second. So what was the date? December 4th. All right, everybody got that? December 4th. For children's gifts, please leave them unwrapped so that parents can see that what their kids are getting and can wrap the gifts themselves. They receive wrapping paper from the Interfaith AIDS Ministry. Once you've selected a mitten or more today, you will untie it from the silver or the gold star that it's attached to and leave the gold star on the tree so that we can keep track of who took which mittens. You're going to write your name on that gold star. There are a lot of mittens, and we are hoping that all of the mittens will be taken from the tree today. But if you are online right now and wondering if there's a way to participate, please know that any mittens that aren't taken off the tree today will be converted to an online sign-up that will be mailed out early this week. If you have questions, Ann Krieg, where are you, Ann? Yes, right there, give a wave. We'll be with the children at the mitten tree table to answer those questions for you. And yes, Ann might need some help getting the gifts from here over to the Interfaith AIDS Ministry after the 4th, so please do ask her about that. Here's a little reminder, and this is going to seem unrelated, but give me a minute. Last Sunday, I shared with you that the covenant or statement of principles and sources, the values that I like to say are the fruits of the tree of Unitarian Universalism, and the sources that I like to say are the what? Roots. The roots. Those are getting rewritten. There's a draft of a new statement that you can go to uua.org and give feedback on. That is a long process, but for this particular draft, you have until November 28th to give your written feedback. When I was thinking about today's service and its theme of giving thanks, I remembered that the word gratitude is in the draft statement, and I went to go look at it. The statement has a structure like this. First, there's a value named. Then there's a sentence that says something about what that value means. And then there's another sentence or two that are action statements, ways that we can live out that value. I found the word gratitude under the value of generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope is the sentence that explains what the value of generosity means. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. Say that with me. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. Practicing generosity as a community means that we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. I've just invited you into a practice of generosity. Participating in the Mitten Tree Project as an expression of generosity means that together we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. If this isn't the right invitation for you, not to worry. Another invitation will be right around the corner, surely. What I want to invite you to do now, and this includes all of us in person as well as those online, and it includes the kids, so just know I'm talking to all of you. What I want to invite you to do now is touch base with wherever it is in your heart that you have gratitude and hope. You might even put your hand on your heart. Here you are, a being of the earth, held by the earth, part of this community. Where is your gratitude and hope coming from right now in this moment? And I want to invite you during this service to continue allowing yourself to become aware of the flow of that gratitude and hope, aware of its presence, aware of how it ministers to the ways you need ministry. Gratitude, hope. So may we cultivate it.
Thank you, Sierra Marie. I am grateful for opportunities to be generous, to give, especially through this community. And I am grateful for the time that we share together when we bring our whole selves and we share the milestones of our lives. Because not every congregation, not every church does this. Not every community allows for a time for the community members to share what is deep in their hearts, those wondrous joys that they would share, that we might hold on to that joy for a few moments, as well as those deep sorrows, those that they are asking us to hold with them just for this moment while we're together. So let us enter into this time of sharing. A lot in this room, isn't there? And I'm sure there's a lot online too, because we bring our whole selves. Your whole self is welcome here. And so we hold the milestones of this community. And as we prepare to go into just a moment of silence together, I'm going to light the single candle that is on our chancel table. And a couple of events have already been spoken about, but I'm going to ask Sierra Marie to just say a couple of words about the importance of this particular candle being lit on this day.
Some of you spoke about these things. We're lighting this candle in honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance and in mourning for last night's events in Colorado Springs.
Let's join together in a moment of silence and reflect on all that has been shared here, the joys, the love fest that is found here, the birthdays and the sorrows, the diagnoses, the deaths, the difficulties. They are all here, and we hold them all in this moment in silence. May we continue to share with one another and give thanks for this beloved community. Staying seated and in this spirit of reflection, let us sing together our hymn of reflection number 123. It's Spirit of Life, and the words will be on the screen. Let us sing together.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirs of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. In the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Today's reading is a prayer of thanks by Max Kutz. Let us give thanks for a bounty of people.
For children who are our second planting, and though they grow like weeds, and the wind too soon blows them away,
May they forgive us our cultivation and fondly remember where their roots are.
Let us give thanks for generous friends with hearts and smiles as bright as their blossoms.
For continuous friends who, like scallions and cucumbers, keep reminding us that we've had them.
for feisty friends as tart as apples,
For crotchety friends, as sour as rhubarb and as indestructible.
For handsome friends who are as gorgeous as eggplants.
and as elegant as rows of corn.
And the others as plain as potatoes and just as good for you.
For funny friends who are as silly as Brussels sprouts and as amusing as Jerusalem artichokes.
And serious friends as complex as cauliflower and as intricate as onions.
For friends as unpretentious as cabbages, as subtle as summer squash, as persistent as parsley.
As delightful as dill, as endless as zucchini, and who, like parsnips, can be counted on to see you throughout the winter.
For old friends nodding like sunflowers in the evening time, and young friends coming on as fast as radishes.
For loving friends.
Who wind around us like tendrils and hold us despite our blights, wilts, and witherings.
And finally, for those friends now gone, like gardens past that have been harvested.
And who fed us in their times that we might have life thereafter.
For all these,
We,
we
give,
give
thanks.
thanks.
It is now time for our congregational offering. If you're with us for the first time, your presence is your gift to us. Members and friends online, please express your generosity by using the link or QR code found on the screen or in the chat. If you prefer, you may send a check to UUCD here at the Ridge. And as Sierra Marie had said, there will be other invitations to show your generosity. Today, we are having a Share the Plate, and we thank you for doing your part to support and sustain this community we love. Now, we will be joined by Christy Jefferson from Danbury Area Refugee Assistance, and she will tell us a little bit about her organization.
Thank you, Sally. And hi, everyone. Good morning. And hello to you guys on Zoom. This wasn't part of my prepared remarks, but you guys are awesome. Like, my daughter and I are sitting here like, these people are amazing. Should we come back here? I think we should. Yes. I love your choir. You guys are, there's a lot of love in this room. I am feeling it. So on behalf of the board of Danbury Area Refugee Assistance, I just want to thank you so much for having us here to speak with you today. It really means a lot. So DARA is a small nonprofit that was put together in response to the Syrian refugee crisis of 2016. We resettle one refugee family at a time. And we're a community co-sponsor group under IRIS, which stands for Integrated Refugee and Immigrant Services. They're in New Haven, and they are the largest refugee resettlement agency in Connecticut. So when a refugee family is assigned to the United States and IRIS hands over their case to us, we do everything to help this family get set up in the United States. We find them housing, we furnish that house, we buy them their initial groceries, we pick them up at the airport, and then the adventure begins. We help them get enrolled in school, set up for jobs, healthcare, medical appointments, driver's licenses, like you name it. We do it. It's just everything. Learning English, that's a really huge one. I can tell you that it is the most meaningful work I have ever done in my life. There is something humbling about welcoming a new neighbor into our country, both literally and figuratively, when they have had to leave everything behind. And it is an honor to look in their eyes and say, I am so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're safe, and we're going to get through this together. And we always do. You know, we have sang with their children, and we have cried with them when they have gotten off the plane in a strange place, and we have cheered with them when they've gotten their driver's licenses, and we've sat with them at the hospital when things have gone wrong. They are truly become our family. I could go on all day. I won't, because I know you have things to do, but I could. So we're currently about a year into resettling our fourth family, which is a group of young men from Afghanistan. And people are always asking how they can help. So I'm going to give you a few examples. First, of course, is monetary donations. We are completely volunteer led. We are a complete nonprofit. All of our fundraising is grassroots. So we use those funds to support our current family and to get ready for the next family so we can turn around and help more people, and to support the broader resettlement efforts of Connecticut. So for example, right now we're part of a project where we're trying to get all of the DMV materials, driver's tests and permit tests, translated into Dari and Pashto, because that's been a really hard hurdle for a lot of our Afghan evacuees. And getting a license is a huge part of gaining independence. So that is a big one. The other thing we get asked a lot about are physical donations. So DARA doesn't accept donations on a rolling basis because we don't have an office and my attic is full. So, but IRIS, however, does accept donations all year long, and they resettle hundreds of people every year. So they have a link on their website of what they accept. I know they will even come pick up some small furniture items. Volunteering. It takes a lot of people. You'd be surprised, I think, the amount of work it takes to do this. And so there are always volunteer opportunities available with DARA, whether it's behind the scenes or you want to be involved with the family more face-to-face, you want to do fundraising, there's all sorts of things. Our volunteer base is in a quieter phase right now because we are, so far into this current family, but great time to sign up and get the training done and join us. It's a good group. But there's also another sort of DARA adjacent volunteer opportunity that's happening right now. It's the Connecticut Afghan Asylum Project. So all of the 800 evacuees from Afghanistan that have been resettled in Connecticut over the last year need to apply for asylum. And long story short, there are not enough lawyers. So the Afghan Asylum Project is enticing non-immigration attorneys to take on one of these cases pro bono. We've had 134 attorneys sign up to do this, which is great. So the volunteer opportunity is the community volunteers. So I just did this with a volunteer attorney who took on the asylum case of one of our family members, and I just supported her. I, scheduled meetings and hired interpreters and got documents translated, stuff like that. It's not a huge time commitment, but it is hugely important work. Okay, so I know I just threw a lot at you. There'll be more information out outside. There's a sign up list for an email. If you'd like to sign up, there's a flyer out there. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you never volunteer with DARA, just the fact that you have all welcomed us into this amazing church today and that you have listened and that you are sharing your plate. We cannot thank you enough. And again, you all are awesome. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Here's your opportunity to express your gratitude through generosity in supporting DARA and in supporting the mission of this congregation. Thanksgiving story that most of us heard as children in school. I'm not sure if you hear any Thanksgiving stories now in school, if you're in elementary or junior high, but you know, that story is an old one and it's been told so many times. But in recent years, much about that story and about this holiday, which happens to be probably my favorite holiday, has been quite correctly called into question. Historical sources about that most familiar story are actually quite scant. But today, I want us to consider, no matter the story, just how important gratitude is as a healthy virtue for any society, and most especially for our own diverse democracy. I think the most important story really is the undisputed origin of this national holiday. And I really am hoping that we can reflect on that when we celebrate, however we might celebrate this year. It was October 3rd, 1863. Anybody around online? Well, I know you know the guy, Abe, right? Abraham Lincoln. It was on that date when Lincoln issued an official proclamation that called for a national Thanksgiving Day. And it was to be held on the last Thursday of November. This proclamation was widely disseminated in print by the New York Times. On November 26th, 1863, the first official Thanksgiving. Now think about that. That was 41 years after the start of this congregation. Yeah. That New York Times piece had no mention whatsoever of pilgrims. It opened by elevating the year's constant bounties and blessings. Keep in mind that date, 1863. But the focus was on the bounties and the blessings. In fact, it said, such blessings are so resplendent. I love that word. We don't use that word enough, right? It was so resplendent that they, quote, cannot fail to penetrate and soften even the hardest of hearts. Now, this was amid a brutal civil war, the outcome of which was far from certain at that time. But Lincoln gave thanks. He gave thanks that things were not far worse. He gave thanks that there was no foreign interference in the internal war. You see, he didn't fail to acknowledge the devastating conflict. In fact, he called it, quote, a civil war of unequaled magnitude and severity. The point is, we can give thanks under every condition, always. The most that we can do is honestly reckon with the brutalities of life, of our history, and yet never lose sight of the abundant blessings and bounties that sustain us and nourish us every day. It's in the same way that we are nourished by the earth's bounties. And we give thanks for those who till the soil and who plant the seeds, who harvest the crop, those who prepare the food, those who bake the bread, the sustenance of life, those who package it, those who transport it so that we may purchase it, those who stock the shelves, the cashiers, the baggers. We give thanks And we give thanks to the awe-inspiring earth that made it all possible. Even amid brutality and conflict, we have so much to be thankful for. So today, at this time, in this community, let us give thanks by sharing the breads of the world.
Let us give thanks and celebrate our bounty this day by sharing breads from the earth's many grains, from the hands of many peoples.
And sharing what it is that we are thankful for. Jane and Randy, would you please bring forward the breads of corn made holy by the toil of the people of this country and the soil of its indigenous peoples?
Gratitude and appreciation have been part of our vocabulary a lot in the last year and a half. But when asked to talk about what I'm thankful for, the one thing that came to my mind is that 50 years ago, right about now, I was given a diagnosis of a level 3 melanoma. And I'm still here, and I'm thankful.
Kaplan family, please bring forward the matzah, the unleavened bread of freedom made holy by the memory of the Jewish people.
We are thankful for family.
We're thankful for our family and all of your families.
Suzanne, would you please bring forward the breads of grains made holy by the toil of the people and the soil of the earth in Egypt, Africa, and the Middle East?
I'm thankful for the unwavering support of my family during these last 5 years. It means the world to me.
And Yvonne, please bring forward the tortillas unleavened like the matzah, made holy by people who struggle for liberation in this hemisphere.
I'm also thankful for family, biological and non-biological.
Gail and Jackie, would you please bring forward the breads of wheat made holy by the toil of the people and the soil of Europe's continent?
Thankful for something very simple, which is the ability to be together with friends and family, which was brought into very sharp relief by the last several years and the restrictions that we've all had upon us. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity to happen again.
Thank you.
Heather and Chris, please bring forward the cakes of rice made holy by the toil of the people and the soil and waters of the earth throughout Asia.
We had other things we were going to be thankful for, but here I'm having you here today made me think about something different. About 4 years ago on Thanksgiving, our oldest daughter, Riley, brought home her boyfriend for Thanksgiving from NYU. And he is from Syria, but by way of Doha, and has never been able to return home because of circumstances since he came here just before his junior year. He's become a part of our family and is likely soon to become an official part of our family. So I just want to say today, thank you to you and everyone from IRIS for all the work that you do. The asylum process is so hard. But anyway, thank goodness for all the work that you're doing. So.
During our coffee hour, we are going to be sharing these breads. And I would ask that as you take a piece of bread,
that you will think about who brought it here today from this community to share with you. And as we share these breads, daily breads of many cultures, we look to the day when there is enough bread for all of Earth's peoples.
When all of the earth's children are nourished and protected.
May it be so.
Please join me as we recite the words to extinguish our chalice. They're on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again.
Let us rise in body or spirit as you are able one last time in this sacred hour together as we sing our hymn of celebration. It's in the soft covered hymnal this time, appropriately entitled We Give Thanks. But if you're a musician and you're looking at the timing, we are not singing it like a dirge. We are not even singing it in reflection. We are singing this in celebration. So Jerry knows we're going to pick up the pace on this one. We sing it twice through. It's number 1010, We Give Thanks. As we taste these breads brought to be shared by members of this community today, may we give thanks and may we be made whole, sharing in the labors and the struggles and the dreams of all the earth's people. Let us express our gratitude as we are made one in our ongoing celebration of the bounty of our diversity, giving thanks under every condition, giving thanks always. Shalom. Salam. Amen. Blessed be to each and all. Namaste.
And the kids, and the kids.
And the kids, yes. Anne, where are you? Okay, Anne Krieg is going to go to the door, and if you have mittens and you are ready to get those on the tree, I'm going to ask you to follow her out. Thank you, Sierra Marie, so that the tree will be ready for all of us. Thank you.
There's nothing like the warmth of a summer afternoon, waking to the sunlight, being cradled by the moon, catching fireflies at night, building castles in the sand, kissing mama's face goodnight, and holding my daddy's hand. Thank you. How could I ask for more? Being barefoot through the grass, a little hide and go seek, and being so in love that you can hardly eat, and dancing in the dark when there's no one else around, being bundled neath the covers, watching snow fall to the ground. Thank you. How could I ask for more? So many things I thought would bring me happiness, some dreams that are realities today. Such irony, the things that mean the most to me are the memories I've made along the way. So if there's anything I've learned from this journey I am on, simple truth will keep you going, simple love will keep you strong. 'Cause there are questions without answers, and flames that never die, and heartaches we go through are often blessings in disguise. Thank you. Thank you. How could I ask for more?